Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shenanigans.
Dating simulator.
Dating simulator, yes. You guys arrived back in Berkshire sometime the next morning. You haven't slept. Nash was basically dead and then brought back to life, so he's been limping the whole way through. It's been a brutal adventure.
Up to 19.
He can only be up at 1 because if you go down to negatives and then are healed with magic, you can only return to 1 until you've had a full day of rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, Neal, and specifically at some point, I'm casting detect magic on this Bowie knife.
It does have an aura of illusion on it.
Nice. And what was its name again?
David.
Okay.
An aura of illusion?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe it really is Ziggy.
I don't know. You arrive back in Berkshire with 6 orcs in tow. No one bats an eye.
Along the way, I'll try to talk to them, get to know them. I'll be asking them questions about, if you could be any kind of tree, what kind would you be?
They just speak back at you in Orcish, each and every one of them.
All right.
Okay, I try speaking to them.
No, they just talk back in Orcish.
Okay.
But you guys arrive at Shenanigans. The orcs are wary because there's all these armed people, but they're all just like hanging out and chatting, and they're all humans. But they come into the bar and, sit down at the table where you motioned for them to sit down.
I gesture to show them the height of the roof inside.
How tall is the roof, Neal?
We're not asking these questions. And eventually Borch comes out to hand you guys some burritos, because that's what they're making today. Burritos. Mm-hmm. And he stops when he comes to the table, and there's 6 orcs there. And he looks down at his kind of cockeyed apron that's smeared with grease, and realizes he doesn't have his weapons on him. And he cautiously touches his face horns and realizes one of them's broken. And you can see the social awkwardness overcoming Borch as he puts the burritos in front of you guys and quickly retreats to the kitchen.
Now, Neal, at least one of those Orcish women did speak common.
They all speak common, but they were just pretending not to because they didn't want to talk to you.
Okay.
All right.
They couldn't put up with you anymore, Nash. They
I'm going back to the kitchen.
Sure. You head back to the kitchen. The other orcs begin to speak up to Nash, but let's do Howard in the kitchen first.
All right.
What's going on?
I go up to him and say, listen, buddy, we have brought them back here to try to find you somebody to be with.
That sounds very nice of you. But I don't think you know the ways of the Orcish people. We don't date.
Sisters.
We don't date like you humans do. Our customs are odd. You wouldn't understand.
I know, but at least give it a try. We had to slay Grutilda, an Orcish war chief, for this.
You slew Grutilda?
Yes, me and him combined did.
No, Grutilda is 7.5 feet tall. She's got bronzed bone armor.
She had a glorious fight with him. I'm very sorry, but I used magic, held her in place, and killed her.
That's very dishonorable.
But try your best. We nearly died to bring you somebody that might be suitable for you.
I'm not... I need time to prepare. I don't have my weapons on me, and look, I'm wearing a leather apron, and oh my god, I'm wearing sandals too. I'm not ready for this yet. Oh god. And he starts pacing back and forth, having a mini panic attack.
Go get ready. I'll try to have Nash cook the food while you're gone.
He runs out and back to his little orc home. Meanwhile, at the table, one of these sisters speaks up to Nash and says, "This place is odd." She looks up and there's like a ceiling and there's so many. There's easy to kill people just standing around.
You might be surprised about how not easy to kill they are.
Look at that one! It's only 3 feet tall! I could step on it and kill it!
You might be surprised. Many of these are skilled adventurers and warriors. It is true that they all rely upon the crutch of weapons and armor. But despite their disabilities, they can be quite tough.
They nod. And is that the one that brought this strange food? Is that the one that you wish us to entertain? The idea of mating with?
Yes, that is Borch.
He looks slovenly.
Well, he did not know that you were coming.
So we see him in his true self right now? His true self is slovenly?
I suppose that is a good point, although it's only in certain contexts. One may be slovenly in one context and majestic in another, depending upon what that context is. For example, if you were cooking, then you would be wearing an apron. If you were at the beach, you would be wearing a small, skimpy piece of lycra.
What is lycra?
One your true self more than the other? Lycra, it is a cloth used to make a skimpy garment, which allows you to move fast. That's why they call it a speedo.
There's much nodding around the table. Okay. Fine.
He has his truth. He has a self when he is cooking. He has a self when he is murdering people who are just trying to throw him a memorable bachelor party.
You have mentioned this party many times. What did the offender do to party too hard?
He was just trying to arrange a scavenger hunt where Borch was going on a mission and taking on various challenges in order to claim his bride.
That seems quite reasonable. Why would one slay another over such a thing?
I know. It seemed I was not there, but it does seem a very reasonable thing. I think he grew tired of the various steps that he was going through to claim his bride. Or perhaps the gods had decided that the person throwing the bachelor party was too powerful and overbalanced, and that it was time to remove him from the game of life. Who understands the ways of the gods?
All right. Borch comes back in. He's wearing his chainmail armor. You notice that he's affixed a fake horn to his one broken horn to try and make it look real. But it's clearly like a different, shit color. It's like an ivory horn attached to his slightly yellowed horn. He's got a battle axe strapped to his back. His armor doesn't quite fit him anymore. Borch has gained a lot of weight now that he's not running around the forest killing people all the time.
Borch, why do you wear that false tusk over your real one? The real one speaks of battles of mighty fights and of injury taken but not succumbed to.
Borch approaches the table and slams his axe down on the table in front of you and says, "Silence, puny fake human! You are not to speak to the greatest orc man that has ever lived this way." There are nods, approving nods from all of the other orcs at the table at this show of strength and might, even if it's kind of rude and mean to his friends, you know. God, I don't even know how to run an orcish dating simulator. I'm a little lost.
You are
Sparring
expressing your
matches?
dominance over me to impress these. I submit to your strength and wisdom.
It's got to be sparring
Intelligence?
matches.
Cooking skill? Or whatever it is, I submit to it.
All right, I guess Borch leads the ladies out back, and they talk for a while. But clearly
Maybe we
they
can run
need
this
to
simulator.
fight something. We've already established that there needs to be bathing in the blood of their enemies. I think they're just gonna go out and kill some shit and figure it out on their own. I'll take suggestions at this point in time. How the hell, how should this work?
I don't know. I was sort of thinking we would do the dating game, and we'd ask questions, and Borch could see how each of them responded.
Okay,
And-
that's fun. Yeah. But the 6 of them is too many, so they're gonna go out. They'll fight some things for a while. You guys can sleep. The next day, we'll come back in.
Okay, so while
Borch
they're
has
out
come back
fighting
with three other orcs. There we go.
While
So-
they're out fighting stuff, I'm gonna scour the town for the biggest tub I can find, maybe a giant wash tub.
Okay.
Okay, can I get some sort of big tub?
Yes, you can buy a large tub if you have money.
All right, how much is it?
Large. I don't know.
Since you
Throw
like some of
gold
that-
at it, man. Just throw a reasonable amount of gold at it.
All right. And
So-
I'll start heating up as much water as I can in the cauldrons in the kitchen.
Okay.
I'll apply just a buttload of healing.
All right. Okay. They come back the next day. You guys are all rested and healed up or whatever. It's all good. And it's time to start the orcish dating game.
Well, hang on.
Okay.
In the between time, so I've heated up all the water I can. I put that into the tub.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that many of you have sore muscles, most likely, from the fighting and killing. And in the in-between time, it is traditional to relax in the tub of hot water so that you have more time to get to know each other. Is there anyone who would enjoy soaking her muscles in this hot tub with?
Is this a tub large enough for all the orcs to get in together, or is this a single?
Whatever it is, I said the biggest tub I could find. I'm guessing that.
I think you find a horse water trough, not a long trough, but the big circular ones that they use for
Okay,
you'll put in a
I
pasture
guess
or
I was
something.
trying to think of the biggest tub that I was thinking some kind of giant laundry tub for not that you would use individually, but a place that does laundry
Mm-hmm.
have a giant tub, 5 feet across or something.
Right. There is some sort of large tub. I don't think you can fit 4 orcs in it though. I think it's a 1 orc at a time sort of deal.
Yeah, well, that's how they have their their little one-on-one time.
Wait, they have a one-on-one time with one of them in the bathtub and one of them out?
No, like they get one-on-one time with him in the hot tub.
Okay, so it's big enough for one orc, but the two orcs squeeze in side by side
There's
anyway.
like fewer orcs every time you say how many there are.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so
like 6 orcs.
the start with 6, and then 3 of them got, we're not up to the task after the hunt. So there's 3 orcs left, plus Borch.
Okay.
And so
probably just one at a time.
Right, okay. So 1 orc at a time in the tub with Borch.
All right.
Okay.
Howard, I don't know if you can heal me. My vision still seems shaken by the blow that I took. It seems everything looks all green and grainy.
I applied so much healing, I'm not even sure I need to roll for it. It's just like 40 minutes of Orisons.
I guess it'll hopefully pass my green, grainy vision right now. But perhaps I should get them some drinks and almost raw meat.
Okay, so 8 for my Cure Light Wounds, and then I have 5 spell slots of first level that I'm just dedicating to Orison at 7 each. So with then 35 on top of that of just Orison.
All right. Let's just go to the first moment of data. You got Borch and one of these 3 orcish ladies whose name is going to be Gertrude.
I'll livestock is ridiculously cheap for some reason. So I'll
I can't have farmers having all the gold.
Yeah, I'll purchase a tender young piglet and cut its throat and drain the blood into a bowl and put the piglet over the fire briefly, and then put it on a little platter and bring out the piglet and the bowl of blood as a dipping sauce.
Okay.
For them.
All right. Well, here you are. Gertrude is in the tub. They're snacking on mostly raw meat, and Borch is kind of shaking his head at you and is like, "This is not what orcs eat. Just it's fine, whatever." And I think you guys are going to pose questions to them, right? You wanted to do like a dating game question.
No, that would be later. This is the grainy night vision camera hot tub time.
I feel like you're referencing something that I don't know here.
I don't watch shows like The Bachelor, but I've seen enough of the ads where they're like, "Here's the grainy night vision camera time," while they're sitting in the hot tub between challenges or whatever they do.
Okay. Sure. So they just have hot tub conversations?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to the dating game later then.
All right.
Because I don't know what to do with that. So,
yeah, that would be you having flirting conversations with yourself.
With myself. Yeah, let's just get past me flirting with myself in Orcic. That's not something anyone wants to see or something I want to do. It would not go well.
I'll ask.
No, Neal, that's the great part. Neither me or him speak Orcish, so you could just be going ark bark bark bark.
Yeah. All right. Later on.
Yeah. Well, Desmond. I seem to be continually culturally insensitive to the orcs. I even appeared in greenface, which I should have known was offensive to them. What sort of foods do they like to eat? They did not like my piglet and bowl of blood.
I don't know. You should ask Borch. Or you could just have him cook food. He is a cook, I mean, the Orcish cook is probably the best person to cook food for the orcs, right? Not you.
That is true. He could try to impress his date by cooking a home meal. But anyway,
Anyway,
take over your common room.
I'm not closing down the bar for your shenanigans, but you can go ahead and have that table back there.
Well, I feel like we should have one booth that Borch sits in, and then like maybe 3 stools sort of
Sure.
in the middle of the room, but facing away from Borch.
Sure. So they can be set up. So Borch has a table over here, and then there are 3 stools where the Orcish ladies are sitting, facing away from him. Borch can sit here, and the 2 of you can sit across from him and ask him questions, and then turn and ask them questions. All right. So I want. Well, how does this work, Rob? You're kind of DMing now.
I don't know. I'm just sort of making up like dating game stuff and all this kind of stuff here.
Okay, but isn't it in a traditional dating game? Doesn't
TV anymore? So
doesn't Borch ask the questions of them?
I figured we'll do some difference. I was trying to spare you from talking to yourself.
Yeah, that's why. I
was trying to be helpful.
Yeah, we need some sort of player interaction here. So why don't you?
I was gonna start by asking some questions.
Okay, we'll see how this goes.
All right, potential daters. Now is the time for each of us to get to know each other, so we can find out who would be the best match for each. So, Orcish Warrioress number 1. Imagine that you were hunting through the forest and you came upon an injured ogre, a famed human warrior, and a basilisk. Which one would you attack first and why?
An injured ogre, a famed human warrior, and a basilisk.
Yes.
I would strike after the basilisk first. For its gaze would turn me to stone, and if it does not die quickly, I would be more likely to be killed. Basilisks have an unfair advantage in the world of combat. They must be struck down quickly.
Ah. So divorce, so you have learned that she does not like to get stoned.
He nods. Yes. It's a terrible thing.
Warrior number 2, same question.
I would kill none of them. I would let the human warrior and the basilisk kill each other and fight whoever was left over. The injured ogre is small potatoes, not worth my time, and is only worth fighting people who are at their full potential.
Of course, I see you have learned that she knows how to delegate, and that she does not like potatoes. You would want to cook other dishes for her.
Okay. And question for Orcish lady number 3?
You could always jump in with some good questions, Howard, here.
Yeah.
Come up with some. I'm like,
I mean, we got to see what each one of them says, then I can.
Okay.
Okay, so warrior number 3.
What's the third one?
What is best in life?
Strong axe. And she goes quiet after that.
Oh, Borch, she's a woman of few words. I could only assume that you would prefer a more talkative woman so that you could share your feelings.
Okay. Howard, do you have any questions for our... Yes.
A question to each of you. What is your favorite type of opponent to slay?
Orc lady number 1, Gertrude, says, I prefer to hunt kobolds. They are great in number and weak individually. It allows you to wade into the fray and kill many, many opponents. There is great glory in numbers.
Or she apparently appreciates quantity over quality.
Grumbelina, the second orc, says, my preferred opponent is an orc of higher stature than me. The way to true glory is to climb the ranks and become war chieftain.
She does not believe in glass ceilings. She probably would want you to remove the skylight that you had installed in your home.
Oh, I like that skylight, he says. And the third orcish woman says, people who ask stupid questions are my favorite to kill.
We are lucky that there are no such here.
All right. We need some more questions here.
Horus number 1, what is your perfect date?
August 20th. It is very hot.
She's a summer. Warrior number 2, same question.
End of November, when the humans have just harvested their crops and they can be slain for their food.
She's practical. And warrior number 3.
Anyone but this one.
She is dissatisfied.
Howard, do you have any more questions? Well, let's do one more round.
Do you have any questions for Borch? Let's turn the tables on Borch now, ladies.
Oh my. Gertrude, orc lady number 1, asks Borch, from what is your original clan? And Borch has like a bit of a long pause and mumbles, not mumbles, but says something quietly in Orcish. At which there's kind of a, not sort of a gasp, but you know, there's a movement amongst all of the Orcish ladies as the answer comes through. Grumbelina, the second orc, asks Borch, if you could fight with spear or club, which one would you pick and why? And Borch pauses for a moment and says, I would pick a spear, so I can slay an enemy in a single blow and then immediately put them over the open flame.
We also would have accepted and then throw the spear at a second enemy.
With the person still attached. And Gronk, the third orcish lady, asks Borch, will you help me kill these question askers right now? They irritate me greatly. To which Borch says no.
All right then, Borch. You've heard the answers. You've talked with all 3 of them. But only 2 can make it to the next round. You have only 2 roses to give out, Borch. To whom will you give these roses?
All right.
And make sure that you say a bunch of stuff that makes it sound like it could go either way before addressing each of the 2.
All right. Borch comes over in front of them and holds one of his roses in his hand and says to Orcish lady number 1, You have said you would slay a basilisk. That makes you mighty and glorious. You too share my hatred of kobolds and their incessant barking and their uncleanly habits. They often ruin my stews. I admire your willingness to kill them in large numbers. August is a terrible month. It is far too hot. And let's be honest, we orcs do not smell good when we sweat that much. I really don't think I could put up with you in that sense. However, you are very keen in percepting and understanding where my roots come from. So I shall give you one of my roses. And hands her a rose. He goes and stands between Orcish ladies number 2 and 3. And says, Gronk, you are strong. You are quiet. You know your mind. Grumbelina, you are wise. You are perceptive. You make good decisions. I feel both of you represent a side of myself that I have to come to terms with. But only one of you represents a side of myself I currently love. Gronk, you are my old self. Grumbelina, and he hands her a rose. You are what I aspire to be. Gronk gets up and goes, Gronk can go now, yes? Good. And leaves, and just bolts out the back door, never to be seen from again.
Goodbye.
All right, it's down to Gertrude and Grumbelina. Rob, you're the expert on dating games and reality TV shows. How does this go?
I'm not actually. Like I said, I've seen ads.
You are the local expert on this matter.
Of the guy that doesn't own TV and has never watched a dating show, you are, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they should each have to do a challenge together. Although again, that kind of puts it back on.
Yeah, the whole orc dating
with himself.
Yeah, I thought this whole session would just be finding a single person to come back. And then instead we came back with a whole bunch, and now it's just weird. But we'll figure it out. Okay,
Well, just trying to prevent you from having to RP with yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what is another thing that we can do that could be...
Help us out, chat.
Um...
Some of you must have the secret shame of watching reality TV.
Yeah. What's a good dating game option that can get everyone involved?
Maybe something where they interact with us.
All right, so Borch says, ladies, if we are to join together in battle, in blood, and in life, you must accept every part of me and not just myself, which includes things beyond myself. You must be accepting of my ways of life and my friends. Therefore,
they could cook a meal for us all.
Gertrude and Grumbelina, you must each have a one-on-two conversation with my friends, and they will decide whether or not you... Well, and then you must tell me how you feel about them after you have had your conversation with them, giving me your truly honest opinion of them. And so he pulls Gertrude aside, leaving you with Grumbelina. She looks at the two of you and says, we must now talk. Tell me about yourself, Howard. Where do you come from?
Oh, I'm a local. I started following Womator once I found this little guy. I pull out Oscar. I said, he brings me such joy in life that I figured I just had to follow the cleric of joy, or follow the god of joy.
What will you do when your cat dies? For its lifespan is quite short.
Be extremely sad.
Will you still be a cleric of joy once your cat has died?
I hope to be able to understand the principles of joy and be able to continue to spread joy throughout the land even once I lose my source.
Nash,
Yes.
you lost a battle to Grutilda and live. Do you feel shame?
Well, I know. I knew that it was not my time, and it was not, as the old gypsy woman said.
How do you feel about archery?
I find it challenging, but I am often able to grab the arrows from the air.
Howard,
It has taken some practice, I can tell you.
Howard, you have brought great dishonor upon yourself by using magic in a battle of physicalness. How do you feel?
Well, to be honest, I didn't want to take her down. I did not intend to go into that arena to fight, merely to support. And it does bring me sadness that I had to take her down in such a way, but I knew that I would not fare against her any better than my friend did.
You chose sadness and dishonor over a glorious death?
Yes.
Shameful.
I must spread the joy as much as I can.
You do not seem to embody joy at all. You seem very bored and monotone. You are the strangest cleric of joy, and the only cleric of joy I have ever met.
Does that not also make him the most joyful cleric of joy you've ever met?
Only when people speak in stupid ways. There is no wisdom to your words.
Both the tallest and the shortest cleric of joy you've ever met.
There is no meaning in the words you say. They are mere curiosities. I am done with you.
Even the most like a dragon of all the clerics of joy you've met.
Grumbelina leaves, and Gertrude comes forward. Nash and Howard, how did you meet?
In the bar.
Here this morning, I think. I don't think I've ever met him before, but somehow we felt the obligation to act as fast friends.
When did you decide that your relationship was one of a romantic nature?
I had not decided that.
You two are not lovers?
I did not
at all.
know those feelings.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You seem to act as lovers.
In which ways?
The big one cooks food for the small one. The small one jumps into battle to heal the big one. They walk together. They speak together. They are involved in getting their friends set up with other people. You sound to me like people in love.
Oh, well, I am flattered to know that he is interested in me, but I do not think...
I'm not!
He's... Oh, don't be embarrassed, friend Howard. There's much wisdom in what she said. He, of course, is right about her perceptiveness, but I do not think it would work. He follows the way of joy, and I follow the way of the fist.
Howard, how does it make you feel that Nash is rejecting your advances?
Good, since I'm not making any advances.
Nash, how does it make you feel to know that you have hurt Howard's feelings to the point that he is rejecting his own advances upon you? You have caused your lover great harm. Does that not make you feel disappointed in yourself?
I may regret any sadness on his part. I have come to understand that all love is good, and that love inevitably leads to both sadness as well as contentment.
You both disgust me. Nash, tell me about your mother. What did she do for a living? Nash?
Oh. I do not know my mother because I began life in a fighting pit. That is my earliest memory. With no weapons, tearing other foes to pieces, to the shouts of crowd, at the goading of whips,
It is a good life.
barbs.
I can't believe you gave it up. Howard, tell me about your father.
Well, I think he was a woodworker. Did his best to make things, build houses, build carriages, and provide for the town as best he can.
How did you then become how did you then choose this path, not your ancestors' path? How can you turn your backs on your ancestors like that?
Well, there's other children.
You are not alone?
No,
Are your brothers and sisters not with you at all times?
No. They some of them have gone back and are taking up his job. But me, I found, well, I wound up getting involved with the church, and then after I found this cat, I discovered, I chose which god to worship.
I see. All right. So Gertrude, Grumbelina, and Borch all come back, and they sit down. Grumbelina, the last one to talk to you guys. I'm sorry, no, the first one, Gertrude, the last one to speak to you, speaks up first and says, Borch, your friends are most interesting. They are clearly lovers, and yet they do not acknowledge this in one another. One of them decries it outright. The other pretends that he was unaware of the situation at all. They are confusing creatures who deny their very own existence and their very own feelings. I find them to be disappointing. This establishment is bizarre. Grumbelina speaks up, the first one to talk to you guys, and says, I do not understand their ways, but they seem to have an internal consistency to them. This one here clearly has love for this small feline on his head. I do not appreciate this feline. I think it would make a tasty snack, and yet the connection the two of them have shared has brought him unimaginable amounts of joy and shaped his life. It is a curious thing. This other one, I don't know what to say. It's weird, and I don't know if I like it or not. Borch nods. You have both spoken very honestly. Gertrude, they are not lovers. They are merely companions. Grumbelina, yes, that one is very weird. I'm not sure if I like him or not either. Gertrude. Your strategy and tactics and love for slaying kobolds has brought you near and dear to my heart. But if you cannot accept my ways of being, then I don't know if we could ever be together. Grumbelina, I don't think we will work together well either, but perhaps we should go hunting some more, and one day in the future we may still find a way to connect. He hands his rose to Grumbelina and says, I am not ready to pick you as my mate, but perhaps we shall go hunt some kobolds. Grumbelina says, no, kobolds are dishonorable prey. I want nothing to do with slaying them, but perhaps we can hunt some giants. No, some bugbears. They live near the Great Horn. My tribe has kept an eye on them for a long time. And the two of them nod and go their separate ways while Gertrude hangs her head and walks out of the bar slowly. Borch has picked Grumbelina, Orcish Lady, number 2. And the two of them will go off and fight some bugbears to see if they can bathe in the blood of their enemies, which is the true Orcish mating ritual.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, nobody ever expects the relation. I mean, realistically, the relationships in The Bachelor have no chance of lasting either.
Yeah.
Nope.
But this one might stand the test of time, or maybe we'll find ourselves back in a year, Borch single again, and looking for a new way to find love in this crazy, crazy world.
Poor Borch.
Congratulations, party, for winning today's episode of Shenanigans.
Oh my word.
All right, so let's try and get some experience here. Doesn't seem right. How do we
Slew a Chimera. There's only 2 of us to divide the experience between. We slew a Chimera and a 9th level fighter. The 9th level fighter was as high as both of our levels combined.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like a bonus might be in order. And
sure,
we helped send Borch on potentially the beginning of a new chapter of his life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the experience for killing Grutilda. Let's get some experience for killing the Chimera. ABC Chimera. Ooh, that's a lot of experience for killing Chimera. You did bring back the... Oh, there were also a bunch of like random orcs in here. Those guys don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And then the quest experience for bringing Borch a lover, which is nowhere near the experience for anything else that's going on here. The dating game went really well. Let's talk on some experience for that. And whoops, it's good. And let's divide it by 2 people. Everybody, please take home 7,050 experience.
10%.
Good Lord.
7,755.
55.
Okay, well, I think I level. In fact, I know I do. Hold on. I'm gonna just combine this experience.
Since I lost the character sheet, I'll just assume Natch was at the bottom of level.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I have no idea. I'm guessing that doesn't level him. But
Probably not.
I have no idea what it would take.
What's 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16, 32. You need 64,000 to get to level 6, and you would have 32. So you're at,
I need 32,000 to get to 6.
Is it? Oh,
I'm
yeah,
level
yeah.
5.
So it's 16,000 plus 7,050. So you should be at 8,650, I think. Oh, but you have 10%, don't you?
16,000.
Yeah. Plus 7,755. So you should be at 9,355 out of 32.
How are you getting 16 plus? Remember, it's 16. So
I'm sorry. I'm just crazy here. 16,000, right? Plus 7,755. I was missing a 0 somewhere. Yeah. 23755. There we go. That should be your current XP.
So that got me halfway through level 5.
Mm-hmm.
Cleric is what, 27,500?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. Fighters are easy because they're 2,000 and they just double, so they're powers of 2, which is really nice. Let's look up cleric here. Nope, that's rogue. One too far. Cleric. What level? You're level 4?
I'm level 5 now.
Okay, so you need 27,500.
Yep. Okay. And
Okay.
now I get 2 3rd level spells.
Something like that? No,
Yeah.
you hit level 5. So, you might have high wisdom.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was
cool. Great. Well, this has been a very special Shenanigans episode entitled "Someone to Love for Borch." No, someone for Borch to love. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. I had fun. The part players,
yeah.
I think, had fun.
That was tense episode.
Yeah, it was good.
So chat was saying Bumble? I don't know. I haven't heard of any of these things.
Bumble? What?
For my question earlier.
What was your question?
What are
the dating thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to research.
Yeah, that might work. Bumble could be the place. I don't know, Rob. I don't know.
Never heard of it. I mean, I don't know if it's for bees or what, but people that enjoy beekeeping.
Oh, well, maybe it's about the birds and the bees, you know? Yeah. Or you could just, hit up game shops in the real world meeting people there. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like leaving the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only do that for work.
Well,
Same.
good luck in your quests, in your real life quests, everyone. We will be back with some Frozen Frontier tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And there's no Misclicks Risen next week. But there should be a Dicing with Death on Monday morning at 10 a.m. as well. Doing Qualnir.
Qualnir again, really?
Yeah. And we've got the Return of Heroes Graveyard, I think is going to be on the 24th of February. And the Divinity Original Sin 2 / Dungeons & Dragons hybrid game for Larian Studios is coming somewhere in February. The date on that is not set. And in between now and all these events is our regular, normal, everyday streaming hours. So we'll see you around.
Hold on.
Buddy.
Isn't there an Angband stream coming up?
Oh, yeah. We were going to do Angband on Wednesday. Actually, Wednesday the 31st. We're going to do another 24-hour Angband stream since there's no Misclicks Risen.
Ooh.
So we'll see if Trollman 30-something can do it.
I believe in you, Neal.
Thanks. You're the only one. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.